Hello, and welcome to MA 211. I'm Dr. Eichholtz. I'll be your professor for the class, and let's just go through the syllabus briefly and get some ground rules down. There's an addendum to the syllabus that I'll be going through in a separate video, and that is specifically for online related things. This syllabus has most of the things related to online in it, but there's a few things that I'll go through later. As I said, my name is Dr. Eichholtz. My office is G209, so if you happen to be on campus, feel free to stop by. My email address, that's the best way to get a hold of me for non-course content related questions. Go ahead, it's eichholtz@roseholman.edu. Let me go ahead and highlight that. You're going to want to put that in your address book. If you have a question about a due date of something or about why you got a certain grade on something or other, go ahead and email me with that. My phone number, it's extension 8743. No one ever calls my phone. Most likely you'll startle me if you call my phone. So let's just go ahead and skip that, okay? Let's see, office hours. Office hours are a little weird with an online class. Technically speaking, they're Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 2:30 to 3 o'clock. But really, just whenever I'm in my office, I'll be available on Link. Everyone should have Link on their laptop. Um, and really, by appointment, you can email me, and we'll set up a time to get on Link, and we'll talk. Um, for course-related questions, I really want to keep things on the discussion forum in Moodle so that way one person can ask a question and I can answer it, and then everyone can see how I answered the question, and we don't have to field a million emails that way. Let's see. If you want to know my course schedule or when I'm free and when I'm not, it's available at this address. That's probably more for people who are in the in-person section. They'd want to know about that. Okay, important information. This class is using Moodle. We're not using Angel. Most of you, I'm sure all of you actually have had courses on Moodle by now. These videos, any handouts that we need, exams, quiz solutions, etc., they're all there. Log in at moodle.roseholman.edu. That's important. Okay, let's get down to the nuts and bolts things. This is MA 211, differential equations. The prerequisite is technically MA 113. In practice, really, I use very little from Calc 3, but I use a lot of the things from Calc 2. So if you haven't had Calc 3 yet, don't be too concerned, but you will need to know your Calc 2 fairly well. In addition, I'm assuming you are familiar with some Maple commands. If you're not, email me. I can send you some worksheets to help get you up to speed with Maple. But I am just going to assume that you're familiar with Maple. Okay, the course goals we'll skip over because that's sort of boring. The textbook, that's important. It's the same textbook we've been using for a while. It's Advanced Engineering Mathematics. The important thing is we're using the 4th edition. That's the edition that the department has been using for a while. In the fall, we'll be moving to the 5th edition. So if you bought your book on Amazon or something like that, make sure you have the 4th edition, not the 5th edition. If you have the 5th edition, probably all your problem numbers will be all messed up, your sections will be out of order, and it'll be a mess, okay? The other thing is you have to have Maple on your laptop. Like I said earlier, I'm just assuming that you have it on your laptop and you know how to use it, at least modestly. I use Maple regularly in class, and I'll give exams expecting that you'll be using Maple on them. If you're not using Maple, the exams will be certainly technically doable, but it'll be quite a bit harder. Okay, course topics, normal stuff. Let's just go ahead and skip that. Let's see. Performance standards, boring, boring. Final exam policy. Now, as I noted in our meeting before the class started and later in this syllabus and in the addendum, the final exam is going to be in person. The final exam will be scheduled somewhere between August 16th and August 18th. It'll be an in-person final exam, and it'll consist of two parts, just like the Calc 1 through 3 final exams. There will be a first part that is by hands, so just paper and pencil, no calculator, no anything else. You'll take that first part, hand it to me. I'll give you a second part of the final exam where you're allowed to use Maple. Okay, so there are two parts, just like Calc 1 through 3, a by hands and a by Maple part. Okay, grading for this class. There will be 3 exams not in class because this is not an in-person section. So there are 3 exams in the class. They are each worth 15% of your final grade for a total of 45%. There is 1 final exam in person that's worth 25% of your final grade. Roughly 9 weekly quizzes. I usually give one every week, but if there's an exam or something like that, then I might skip the quiz. And there are roughly 18 homework sets. Now, quizzes and homework sets are worth a total of 15% of your grade, and all the quizzes are equally weighted. So what you really want to be looking at is what percent you get on each quiz, not the total number of points you got. Same thing with homework sets. Some homework sets are graded out of 50, some homework sets are graded out of 30. It's just whatever is convenient to use. What matters on the homework sets and on the quizzes are the percent that you get. Okay, let's move on. Your final grade. I set a high bar for an A. So if your final grade is 93 or above, then you'll get an A. All right, anything lower than 93, you are not getting an A. Well, let's put it this way. If you get a 93, I promise to give you an A. If you get a lower grade, it is possible I will decide to give you a higher grade, but I certainly do not promise to do so. Okay, so 93 to 100 is an A, 87 to 93, B+, and so on and so forth. One important thing that I want to point out is my use of inequalities here. So what happens if your final percent is, say, 92.7? Well, your grade G would be between 87 and 93 if your grade is 92.7. You will therefore get a B+, or I promise to give you at least a B+. And in practice, I typically don't round up. So you would get a B+. If you want an A, just get a 93. Let's see. Homework assignments are announced in class. Well, not in class for this section. They're found on the course Moodle page. Everything for the online section is through Moodle. So, course policies. Everything is due when the Dropbox closes on the assigned due date. So for each homework, there will be a PDF that is the homework assignment. You will do the homework, you'll scan it, and you'll submit it into a Dropbox on Moodle. When the Dropbox closes, that's it. No late homework will be accepted. Missed quizzes and tests, especially for an online class, you have to have a very valid excuse. I'm going to need some proof. Okay, exams are 1-hour timed exams. So the way this is going to work, you'll have a 24-hour window in which you can take the exam. Now to take the exam, there will be a PDF file on Moodle. You'll download the file from Moodle. When I say marked, I mean you will write on the exam. So you'll download it, you'll print it, you'll write on it, you'll scan it, and then you'll upload it to a Dropbox on Moodle. I'll check and make sure that you don't take more than an hour to get all of this done. So in class, if I were running an in-person section, I would give you 50 minutes for each exam. I'm giving you an extra 10 minutes to facilitate scanning your exam and uploading it. If you take more than 1 hour after you originally download the file, I'll count the exam as a 0. That's that. Okay, and down here I just said exams, quizzes, and homeworks are submitted via Moodle to Dropboxes. So there are a couple extra things I typically point out when I go through the syllabus. First one is this. The homework load is uneven in this class. So uneven, that's strange. There we go. Uneven homework load. And that's just the nature of the material. In the beginning part of the course, we go through the same amount of material as we do in the later part of the course. It just so happens that the problems don't tend to take as long in the beginning portion of the course. So you'll find the course quite manageable at the start, and as things go on, the homework takes longer. I don't know of any way to correct this, and I'm sorry. I try to manage it as well as I can, but the fact is you still need to do several problems before you can really feel comfortable with the material, and the problems take a while. So I'm sorry about that. The second thing is this is an online class, and I'm experimenting with delivery methods. By the way, I'm a terrible speller. I have no idea if that's how you spell experimenting or not. Sorry about that. I'm experimenting with the way that I deliver the classes. Some of the classes will be delivered through a video where I mark up PDFs like this one. I hope to have some classes delivered that are just videos of me lecturing to a normal class. The thing there is I've got to make sure that the quality is good enough that you can read the board and hear the audio. I hope that you'll give me feedback on that. So feedback is appreciated. Let me know. Do you like the videos? Do you like watching me lecture to the class? What do you know, would you prefer to just read the book? What do you want? Let me know. The third thing is that the exams are hard. Expect it. Typically, I give a 5 or 6 question exam. If I gave a 5-question exam, 3 questions would be fairly straightforward, just like homework problems that you did for homework, or just like quiz problems. The 4th question would be maybe a harder quiz problem, maybe a more difficult homework problem, maybe something a little more challenging. And the 5th problem is designed intentionally to be fairly challenging. You'll only get the 5th problem if you really know what's going on. And again, that's intentional. I don't expect everyone to finish the exams in 1 hour. The harder questions are not worth as many points, but the harder questions are what I use to decide who gets an A and who gets a B. So don't be surprised if you can't quite finish the exams in the 1 hour time frame. The last thing I want to point out is that I hope everyone has fun with the class. This material really is quite interesting. I enjoy teaching it quite a lot, and I hope everyone has a good experience. So let me just get ready to stop recording here. Go ahead and move on to the next video.